Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. My name's Karen Buechs, and thank you so much for tuning in. How do you like my glasses? They're real. They're not cheaters. I can see clearly into the booth. It is an amazing world in here. Now, let's get started by saying welcome some of our great underwriters. Stoll's Cafe in Manomet, Evolution Salon, Brewster PC Solutions with Wrestling Brewster, attorneys Trifletti and Costa on Long Pond Road, and underwriters David and Kevin Gallerani, owners of Cape Auto Body and Cape Service, right here in Plymouth, Samoset, and Sandwich Streets. Hello, David, if you're watching. In the past, I have interviewed state officials. Usually my guests are local officials, business people, and citizens of interest. However, tonight is different. This interview is a first for me, so I hope you call in. My guest contacted me a few months ago and asked if he could come on to the show, and I thought about it. I almost said no. He holds a very prestigious seat in the county. Please welcome Chair of the County Commissioners, Daniel Pallotta.
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 That's okay. It's close.
Pallotta, you say.
You did better than most.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much
Dan.
for having me.
May I call you Dan? Or?
You may.
Yes.
I did indeed contact you, watching you interview Joe Trishelli.
Oh, Joe.
And you said, geez, I don't even know any of the commissioners. And I said, well, I sent an email, went on the website, got your email, and off I went.
Oh, you went to PAC TV website, sure.
I went through a myriad of ways, so
yeah.
It was pretty neat.
Well, this show will be on Facebook and Twitter.
I don't do Facebook or Twitter, so...
Well, lots of people do. So they'll be seeing you there. Now, give us some of your personal and professional background.
Personally, I'm a father of 6 children. I'm from Hanover, Massachusetts. I grew up in Medford, Massachusetts, summered in Scituate, and chose to come to the South Shore. And Hanover had the best schools at the time.
What do you mean at the time?
At the time, I was looking to build a home.
Because they have great schools.
Well, they have great schools now.
Yes.
I wouldn't say they're the best, and Norwell's pretty good. But at the time, we could afford it, and we built a home on 2 acres. And when my home was about 80% complete, I got a notice saying that they wanted to expand a landfill in the town next to me, right up to my border.
Wow.
Now, I knew the landfill was there, but I had walked this property and I knew it was a swamp and they couldn't do it, but they had lied on their application and so on and so forth. So I spent a year fighting that, and that's kind of how I got into politics. So after that, the town asked me to go on the planning board. I went on the planning board for 4 years and rewrote the zoning.
How did you like that?
A lot of the zoning for the town of Hanover. Great. Wrote an over 55 bylaw, wrote one of the first telecommunication bylaws, recodified a bylaw that was written in 55. I mean, I worked my tail off. I loved it. After that, I had analyzed how the government worked, and I realized the power in Hanover was with the moderator. So I ran for town moderator.
Oh, sure.
So I was the moderator for 4 years.
That's a great job.
Loved it.
Yeah.
And then the town had a jihad and decided that they didn't want Mussolini as their moderator anymore.
That happens.
So I got thrown out, and unfortunately my successor had died in office, and this led to that. And the selectmen did something they shouldn't do, and I ran for selectman and was a selectman for 6 years.
Well, you've done it all.
My first year as a selectman, I was assigned to Plymouth County, and as the advisory board member.
Oh.
And I asked, what is Plymouth County? And what do I do? And they said, well, you go to the meeting, and really the biggest decision you have to make is whether you want chicken or roast beef, because at the time you'd have a meal at the meeting.
Yeah.
It took me about a year to start really realizing it was being run really badly. And I did my own jihad, took over the advisory board committee chairmanship for my last 4 years as selectman, and realized that we were doing the right thing on the budget side, but we couldn't get the commissioners to do the right thing on the administrative side, so I ran for commissioner, and that's why I'm here.
Very good. Who serves with you, and how long is a term?
Term is 4 years. 2 are elected in a presidential year. 1 is elected in a gubernatorial year.
Yeah.
Sandra Wright just got reelected over Scott Vecchi in this past election, so she'll do 4 more years. And then Greg Hanley from Pembroke, Sandra's from Bridgewater. Greg Hanley and I will be up in 2016, so we'll have to decide what we want to do in 2016.
Well, I will tell you, I was very disappointed that Scott Vecchi didn't win. I think Plymouth needs a representative, and I will work for the next one that goes up. And we have to have.
So if I move to Plymouth, you'll work for me?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You keep using the word jihad. I don't want you to use it anymore.
So, but the county's 27 communities. Plymouth is one of the communities. Traditionally, Plymouth's had a member here and there, and traditionally, Brockton's had a member here and there. It's actually quite rare that neither Brockton or Plymouth has had a member for 4 years, I think it is.
Who was the last Plymouth representative? Do you remember?
Oh,
because I don't.
I don't remember.
Well, we have to get one elected.
Now you're going to make me look it up and email you.
Yep. So the positions are paid.
Correct.
Everybody gets the same pay except for the chairman?
All get the same pay.
You all do?
Yes.
That's $15,000 each.
Correct.
Where does that money come from?
Comes from the budget.
Which comes from?
The county budget's a unique scenario. About 10% of the county budget comes from the cities and towns.
Yeah.
It's the only part of the budget that has the ability to be raised 2.5% under Prop 2.5. The remainder of the budget comes from a myriad. The remainder of the budget comes from a myriad of fees that are up and down.
Taxpayers pay your salary.
Taxpayers pay our salary. That would be correct.
Yes. All right, let's get into it. And I hope you understand, because I write my questions down, and I do. I always have, unless I know the person really well, and it's just like kibitzing. But I don't want to forget anything, so don't take offense.
I don't take offense.
All right. It's been 16 years since the county governments of Middlesex, Berkshire, Essex, Hampton, and Worcester were abolished. Why do you believe we should maintain Plymouth County government?
Let's talk about why they were abolished.
Okay, tell me.
All right. Do you know why they were abolished? You asked the question.
I don't think they could sustain themselves.
Actually, 4 of them could sustain themselves. 4 of them voluntarily dissolved themselves. Franklin, Hamden.
Why?
Because under the Prop 2.5 law of 1978, it's quite clear that the funding mechanism that's in place for the counties is flawed. Plymouth County was an exception to the rule. Norfolk and Bristol counties were the exception to the rule. Essex had fraud. Worcester had major financial problems, and Middlesex had fraud. So not all of them were taken away because they couldn't do it. Franklin in Hampshire created what are called council of governments because they could see what was coming down the line, that their communities couldn't support it under the current funding formula.
Okay.
So they voluntarily dissolved themselves.
Well, my next question is then, is Plymouth County sustainable?
Well, if you would ask me that question, I'll give you the same question I've given Ken Tavares. He reminds me of it all the time when he and I served together on the advisory board. Plymouth County, under the current funding formula, is going to have a tough time. We did well when we had the county jail, because the way the corporation was set up, the corporation was not a drag on the county. The jail was not a drag on the county like the other jails were on other counties. Plymouth County jail system was actually brilliant. The Plymouth County Correctional Corporation that was created in 1992 was brilliant to build the new jail. Having the federal government pay essentially the majority of the bill was the right thing to do. Since the jail has been taken over, and when the jail was taken over by the state, you and I were taken. They took the equity right out of the jail, paid the bonds off, and reissued bonds, general obligation bonds for the entire area. We lost out on all that equity. That equity should have stayed with the county, and the county could have been sustainable.
Well, you do know the Register of Deeds is the cash cow.
No, the Register of Deeds is not the cash cow. The Register of Deeds collects the money that's in the statute.
Yes, but they're the ones that can produce the money. You people don't produce any money.
Neither does Plymouth. Plymouth doesn't produce any money.
But we're
taxpayers are
talking
told to
about
pay the
you.
money.
But
right?
we're
I
talking
understand
about
that.
you.
So I'm giving you an example.
Yeah.
All right. The Registry of Deeds does indeed collect the money. And right now, 89.625 cents of every dollar that our employees collect, that you're paying for, that you're paying retirement for, goes to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Doesn't stay in Plymouth County. Goes to Essex County. Goes to Middlesex County.
But they make good money for us.
So they don't make good money for us. They're collecting $1, and we're keeping 10.375 cents. If you think that's a good mathematical formula, then I think it's wrong.
What have you done? What have you done?
Well, let's talk about what I've done. What have I done?
Yeah.
All right. Since being elected, Commissioner Hanley and I have been elected. There's been a complete change in attitude about Plymouth County. Sandra Wright was kind of there by herself, and the three of us have been working together hard. We submitted 7 bills to the legislature. 2 of them passed this year. One of them that didn't pass, you'd laugh at me, but how much do you have in your stabilization account in town? Do you know how much you have?
No.
Rough guess. 10 million?
I don't know.
Let's call it 5 million. I have 0. Because I'm not allowed to have a stabilization account. I'm not allowed to have a savings account. I'm not allowed to have anything. All right, so we first thing we said we were going to do is get all the audits done, clean up the mess from the previous 2 decades, get the financial house in order, and that's what we're in the process of doing. The second thing we asked for was the ability to save money. Because the Registry of Deeds is a sine curve with the housing market, when we have that up, we shouldn't be spending the up. We should be saving it for the down, just like you do with free cash on a town. You rely on it sometimes when you have to. You don't rely on it on other times, and you buy capital with it. We don't have that ability. We're in the process of trying to get that ability. They didn't give us the savings account, but they did give us 2 bills. One bill is a change that we worked really hard for, and this would not have occurred without Therese Murray's push, was a change in the way that the county courthouses operate. The county at one time operated 5 courthouses. We now operate 3 courthouses. As modernization comes, the state builds their own courthouses, and they're leaving the county court system. When they redid Plymouth, 1820, of course, became vacant. So the 3 courthouses, we get about 82 cents on the dollar. With Therese Murray's bill, we're going to get dollar for dollar. So we're no longer subsidizing the state like we are with the deeds excise, like we are with deeds fees. So you don't think
the state should take them over?
Oh, God, no. They're our buildings. Why would we give up local control of our buildings? You paid for them, and they need to be maintained, and we're in the process of doing that. We just completely redid the heating system in the Hingham District Court. First capital improvement on that courthouse in 25 years. We're doing a complete study of the Brockton Courthouse right now. That courthouse is going to undergo a major renovation probably in a year or 2.
So tell me, how are these counties, how are these towns doing, Middlesex, since they do not have county government?
I'll give you a great example. Hampden County is now what would you say, it was 18 years or 20 years? I forget.
18.
In 93, right?
16 years.
16 years, okay. Hampden County, according to Sheriff McDonald, is almost twice as much cost per inmate to run Hampden County's jail as it is Plymouth County Jail, because the county system was more efficient than the state is. Now that doesn't mean that what that means in my mind is that in 10 or 15 years we're going to creep up and be equal to Hampden County, because the state's going to end up paying the same for all their inmates. So the counties can do it better. There's more local control. You can work on your buildings. You can do this. You can do that. I have a gun range on our property that was built by the county for the sheriff, half built, can't finish it. All right. The sheriff can't finish it with state funds because the state refuses to put money into it because he has to go in the queue at DCAM, which is the state building authority. He doesn't have control over his buildings anymore. The control of the improvements of the building is now the state of Massachusetts, not Plymouth County, not the people you elected. So anytime the state takes something, it costs more money. The registry of deeds and the registry of deeds will be the next thing they try to get. And of course, when they do that, that'll be the end of the county. So when the state needs money, they take things. At one point in time, 30, 35 years ago, we did the roads, we did the dams, we had the forensic labs, we had the coroner, we had the DA, we had the courts, we had the court officers, we had probation. All right, whenever the state needed something, they took it from you and I. And the last grab was the jail.
So now you're going to go take the county farm.
What do you mean take the county farm?
Are you going to take over the county farm?
The county farm is owned by the county.
Yes, I know.
It's not owned by the state of Massachusetts. It's owned by the county.
You're going to put...
We're going to put an RFP out.
An RFP
for an
turbines.
No.
No.
Where did you get that rumor?
Just,
oh, mother. The question that was asked was... I am so glad to be here.
Yeah.
The question that was asked is the county farm.
Yeah.
We own the farm.
Yeah.
The sheriff's currently occupying the farm. All right. We have a deed restriction with the town of Plymouth.
Yes, I know that.
The deed restriction's wonderful. The deed restriction says we can do two things on the farm. Do you know what the two things are?
Solar or wind?
No solar.
No solar.
Nope. Wind power.
Yeah.
Or a farm.
Yes.
County commissioners don't want to put wind power on there because it would be intrusive to the neighbors. So that's not something that we're even looking at. But we do want it to be farmed, and we do want it to be interactive. We have the second, I call the second best cooperative extension in the state, behind Barnstable County, and we currently reach 8,000 children. 8,000 children with our cooperative extension. The farm should be an interactive exhibit with the children of the county, and that's what we're trying to get to.
So
we have an RFP.
Them?
We're going to put an RFP.
You're going to charge your kids going in. Well, how are you going to generate money?
We get calls all the time from farmers wanting to farm. Land is just not there in the county. Dairy farmers, corn farmers, they want land to farm. So the county's going to look at the feasibility of renting out the farm to someone that will allow 4-H programs to occur at the same time, so that the county farm can remain with the people of Plymouth County. Right now, I can't put a child on that farm because of the prisoners. All right? And that's something the children should be enjoying, not the prisoners. That farm should be enjoyed by the children and not the prisoners. Not just a little section up the front where they can pull a goat out and pet the goat. So, you know, the agriculture in Plymouth County was the biggest staple of Plymouth County for hundreds of years. We can't forget about it. And that county farm deed restriction that I opposed is probably one of the better things that was done by the previous commission to preserve that land.
How does the sheriff feel about what you're doing?
The sheriff doesn't think we have the right to do it, according to what one of the other commissioners had indicated, but it's pretty clear.
Is he going to sue you?
I don't know how he can sue us. He doesn't have a lease with us. He's on our land. You know, I've got buildings there that need repair. You know, if a farmer wants to come in and repair the buildings and take care of the land, the children of the county should occupy the land. Wouldn't you want to see the cows back?
What I want is cooperation from the county. That's what I want.
The county cooperates with everybody.
No, you don't.
You can't say that.
Yeah.
You just met me. How do you know I don't cooperate?
I
know. You met me 5 minutes ago. I know this is your show. Next question.
Okay. So I'm going to skip that one.
Oh, come on. Was it too tough?
Yeah, no. Can you confirm there is no fiscal 2014 income and expense report as of yet? If not, why not? And when is it coming? What's the matter with you people? Why aren't you showing the report?
This is a Linda Benesra question. I'm going to answer the question.
Oh, my God.
All right, I'm going to answer the question because she asks for it every meeting. Okay.
Every meeting?
Yeah, every time that
She's
there.
at every meeting.
Yeah, she's at most of them. So.
We have a phone call.
Oh, great.
Hello? You are on Talk of the Town.
Hi, Karen. It's Linda Benesra.
Oh.
Hey, Linda. Gee, there's a surprise.
Thank you for calling, Linda.
Well, yeah, I didn't hear what led up to my name. First, I was calling to let everyone know that the county has a website.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of information on the website that people should go to.
What is it?
Well, I always just go into.
What is
I
it?
don't know what it is. I always get it wrong. I think it's PlymouthCounty-ma.gov, I think.
Yeah, it's like that. See, as long as they go into Plymouth County, Mass, it'll come up.
And come up with the
It'll
county.
tell you that that's what it is, right?
All right.
But now that I've said that it's up there, I wanted to ask the commissioner when the fiscal 10 audit will be on the website, because it's not on there yet.
The fiscal 10? I'm asking about the 2014 and the 10 isn't on there?
Well, 10, 11, and 10 has been done, 11 and 12 haven't been done yet.
What's the matter with you people?
Excuse me. I was elected in 12.
Well,
Linda, would you tell the kind host how many I've done?
7, 8, and 9.
Thank you. Do you know what it's like to try doing 7, 8, and 9 when the records are with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts?
Well,
and they won't cooperate with us?
what's wrong with the treasurer?
The treasurer doesn't have the records from the sheriff's department when it was with the Commonwealth. The records.
Let's not go on a tangent about it. We're talking about the audits for the county.
I understand that, but the audits from the county, Linda, we need material that comes from the sheriff's department. It's not that simple. But I will tell you that 10 was the toughest one, and 10 is done, and I thought it was posted a month ago, and I will make sure it's posted no later than tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I looked a couple of days ago, it wasn't up yet.
No, I'll make sure that's up there because we did have it available for the advisory board members to look at the last advisory board meeting, so I do want to make sure that that's available to the public. Okay. It's all telling. It shows what the state has taken.
Okay, I can't comment because I haven't seen it, but I think that's a good thing, and I think having this material on the website is very informative. The need for transparency is very important.
We're trying.
Okay, but now I don't know my second question was to ask the question I've been asking for the last 6 weeks is when will we get the final numbers for fiscal 14 expense and income?
The books on 14, the last that I remember, and I have a meeting tomorrow night, Linda, the last I remember was we were waiting on a piece of revenue from the state, a grant that was given to us. I don't know whether it came in or hasn't come in. I'd have to talk to the treasurer about that, but that's the piece that we need just to close the books. Unlike a city or a town, we don't have hard deadlines on opening and closing. Technically, the books are closed, but it was booked prior to, so we're trying to get that revenue because it comes from the state's 14 budget also.
Right, and Tom O'Brien told me recently in a telephone conversation that it was a $500,000 grant.
That is correct.
That is a significant problem if the money is not coming forthwith.
Oh, that's just the beginning of my troubles, Linda.
Here. I'm sorry I won't be able to make your meeting tomorrow night, but I'll turn the TV back on most of the things I wanted to.
Linda.
Yes.
Do you know what's in the stabilization fund?
For the town?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, neither can I.
We have a good, strong stabilization fund.
I know that, but I couldn't pull it up in my.
Linda, do you want to loan the county some money?
Don't have any to loan you. Sorry. But no, I agree with you. The fact that the county does not have a stabilization fund is not good public finance.
Well, we're not allowed to.
Yeah, well, I know.
Yeah, it's just not right. We're working on that. We're going to refile the bill, and hopefully we'll get it through.
Yeah, right. But then we got to have the revenue to put into it to build it.
That's going to take a little work.
Especially when you've got all the post-employment benefits you got to take care of.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Linda.
Not that it's easy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right, bye-bye.
What does Charlie Baker think of county government?
Charlie Baker was the Secretary of A&F when the original 7 were dissolved. So I think that Charlie Baker was, based on what I've read, disgusted with the behavior of Worcester and Middlesex, and those that volunteered to go, he took. I think when you look at the numbers post-takeover, you're going to find that the state's paying more for it now. The state can't do it cheaper than you can locally. And I think that if you dissolve the county and you give everything to the state, you're just shifting the pool of problem to somebody else. I'd rather be able to have the ability to solve the problem locally.
Well, it's certainly a debate that is raging on.
Well, I was chairman of the advisory board when I asked the advisory board to create the charter committee. I foresaw this coming. And Plymouth's rep was Ted Bozen, and we had another one from Plymouth, that a little small sliver of Plymouth, I forget already. But we had a pretty good debate on what to do with the county, and it was not, rah, 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 keep the county. There was a third that wanted to dissolve the county. We had a vote on, do we want to recommend dissolution of the county?
I think Ted went in thinking he wanted to dissolve it and changed his mind once he got into it. Now, I could be speaking...
well, he's in New Hampshire, so he's not watching. So we can say Ted said anything.
Yeah, but I'll hear about it. So that'll be interesting to see what Charlie Baker does.
It's going to be interesting. There's a lot that's going to be interesting, and quite frankly, Plymouth County lost a friend in losing Terry. Whether you like Terry's politics or you don't like Terry's politics, she was great for the region.
She was very fair.
Right, and she listened.
Yeah.
And she was good to the county.
Yeah.
She did whisk through the 2 bills that I talked about. One, I didn't even get to the second one, but we had a $32 million liability taken off our books and shifted to the state, which, when the state took the jail, they left us with the retirees. All right, in all the counties.
Well, the towns are too.
So
everybody's trying to make that up.
But the state took the employees that are paying into the system, but they didn't take the payments.
The responsibility.
As Tom O'Brien says, they took the house and left the mortgage.
Okay, but let's talk about responsibility.
All right.
Okay, I'm skipping 2 questions.
Oh.
I'll come back to them if need be. Okay, now we have to cap South Street.
You do. That is correct.
Now listen to me already.
I'm glad you admitted that.
Now listen to me. You already, I see an attitude.
Attitude.
It went right up.
No attitude.
I saw it.
No attitude.
You said to yourself, "Here it comes."
Nope.
Yes, you did.
Listen.
Yeah.
I indicated I started in politics with a landfill. I'll probably end in politics with a landfill.
In a landfill. Now,
there are some that want to put me in a landfill.
Well, the state says the South Street has to be capped. I see it. I am telling you, I see it as a responsibility of the county and the town together to do it, but you refuse.
The county wanted to take a look at the site as a whole. Let's back up a little here. If you're gonna tell me I refuse, why don't I give you a little history? Okay.
Listen to me. Don't.
No,
Be nice.
No, I'm being nice.
Okay.
All right. First of all, in 1948, when the 42, when the landfill started,
yeah,
the county gave the landfill to the town to use. The area of the landfill, actually, it was part of the county farm. There was no Route 3. The land went all the way across to where the jail was at the time. If you look in the file, you'll see in the 60s and 70s there were battles between the county commissioners and the Board of Selectmen, all right, over the misuse, the improper operation of the landfill by the town of Plymouth.
By the dumping?
By the town of Plymouth, okay? The county commissioners worked with the town. They worked it out. They worked it out. They worked it out. Then the county of Plymouth gave land for the police station. You chose to build a police station on top of trash. All right? We didn't choose to do that. You did. And when the police station was operating, methane began to migrate into the station.
Yes.
Bad. B-A-D, bad. The town was great. Responsible, immediately did what the right thing to do, which was to put an interceptor trench in, so that if any landfill gas got to the building, it would dissipate up. They did that on a temporary basis. Since they did it on a temporary basis in 2000, I don't know, I think it was 4 or 5. You have not had an incident at the police station or whenever they did it. So to the county commissioners, this urgency of doing the parking lot over and putting in the wall isn't as urgent to us as it is to Plymouth. Plymouth voted, town meeting voted, to expend $1.8 million to deal with this problem. The county commissioners asked for a 20-day comment period on the permit, and we were denied. From the Board of Selectmen, the opportunity to comment on the permit. We did so anyway. The state took way longer than 20 days anyhow, issued their findings about a week ago in the form of a permit to the town of Plymouth with a whole bunch of conditions for the county and a whole bunch of conditions for the town. The important thing is it looks as though you got your authorization to construct and carry out the vote of your town meeting, which is to do the corrective action. County commissioners wanted to do something far larger than just correct that piece. Our fear was you're going to put up a barrier and the gas was going to stop and migrate back onto the landfill.
We have great engineers. It would never happen.
You have great engineers? I don't trust engineers. We had great engineers build a big dig, and someone drove through a tunnel and a panel hit them in the head.
Stop it. Just stop it.
So,
there's no cooperation.
That's not true.
Yes,
that is not true.
It's
that is not true.
absolutely.
Every time Plymouth asks us to meet, we meet. Every time we ask Plymouth to meet, they meet.
Yeah.
All right? The fact that you say there's no cooperation, I have to respectfully disagree. When Billy Hallisey was there and we talked about doing the ASH program, all right, which I must admit.
There was no such agreement.
There was an agreement. I was there. I was in the meetings. Okay.
No, about ASH.
What there was a stepped process that we didn't get past step 1, and step 1 was the purchase of the corner lot. As we were purchasing the corner lot,
was there a buyer?
Yeah. We sold it 2 weeks after you said no for $200,000 more than we offered it to Plymouth.
And what happened? And
we sold it for $200,000 more.
And what happened after that?
What happened after that?
Yeah.
Nothing.
The owner, it's still sold. It is still sold, that land.
That land is sitting.
Who bought that land?
Cushing.
Cushing.
Right.
What's he going to do with the land?
Not my land anymore. It's not my concern. If he does anything with the land, he has to go through your permitting boards. So I don't know what he's going to do with the land.
Didn't Cushing just give you $400,000?
Cushing didn't give me anything. Cushing gave the county.
The county
6 years ago, I think it was, $280,000 or $320,000 for a gravel permit on a piece of property behind Cabot. I think it's Cabot Road.
And you people spent it, and you won't give it back because he can't get his permits.
Oh, first of all, I didn't spend any of it.
The county did.
All right. When you say you people,
yeah,
you preface it with the way it needs to be sent. Second of all,
don't take offense.
I'm not taking offense to it, but
I'm
not going to sit here and let you say you people when I wasn't on the board when those actions were taken.
But you are now.
Of course I'm on the board
Give
now.
him back his money.
And what did I do?
Don't know.
I went to the planning board, and I was treated horrifically. I went to the zoning board of appeals, which only months earlier issued a 7 million yard permit, but refused to issue a 250,000 yard permit for Mr. Cushing because the county was involved. And you talk about us not getting along. I've never been treated like I was treated by the boards in Plymouth in any other community in Plymouth County.
If you're treated so badly, then why do you keep doing it? Why don't you just leave? Why aren't you abolished? I mean, I'm leaning toward abolishing
If you want to lead toward abolishment, you have that right. I'm leaning towards strengthening.
No, because you haven't done anything for Plymouth.
I haven't done anything for Plymouth.
No.
Oh, no, we let you use a piece of land that you landfilled, polluted, and now you want to walk away from. I haven't done anything for Plymouth.
You haven't done anything.
You think you should be able to absolve yourself from all the pollution you put in the ground?
We said
there?
we would help.
Did you know that that what you voted on,
Don't point at me.
all right, what you voted on, okay, has for fill. You're not putting clean fill back in the ground. You're putting street sweeping soils back in the ground. Not even clean fill.
No, you really don't care about that. What
I
you
do
care about, you don't want to spend the money.
No, you know what? I would have said nothing about the project on South Street that you guys voted as a community if you were putting clean fill in the ground. You're taking all the big pile of oil infested street sweepings, all right, and putting it in the ground behind the police station. And yet I had to go to meeting after meeting after meeting with selectmen telling me that the county's polluting the ground by not taking care of South Street. Really? Not going to happen.
Well,
in the end, you're going to find that the county will be absolved from South Street. You can mark my words.
Are you being sued?
No, we're not being sued. But the way environmental law works is this. The operator gets a letter, the landowner gets a letter. We're the landowner. We made a mistake in 1942. We let Plymouth use the land, and Plymouth chose not to do the right thing.
You do not like Plymouth.
I love Plymouth.
No, you don't.
I love Plymouth.
You don't like the people.
I love Plymouth. I love the people
You
in
don't
Plymouth.
like the officials in Plymouth.
Not true.
I have emails from you.
All right. What I will say is that I find that certain officials in Plymouth are anti-county. I go to meetings, and when the town manager rolls her eyes anytime a county official speaks, I find that to be unprofessional and wrong. Okay? I don't do that when people speak to me. I speak with respect. When I sit with Ken Tavares, even when we're arguing, we're always civil to each other.
I know that about him.
And so am I, and so aren't the other commissioners. All right? But there's an animosity between the county and the Shire town, okay, that should not exist. I asked to come on this program because, number one, they don't know who the county is. All you hear is the county did this, the county did that, all right? And 90% of it's not true. All right, so what I want to do, and I actually sent an email to Ken after the planning board meeting, where one of the members of the planning board was just ripping into the county, and it was interesting. The planning board had to make a recommendation to the zoning board, and one of the members was ripping into the county, and the member on the end, I don't remember his name, was the only one who got it. The county's exempt from zoning. The county can do a lot worse than the county's doing. We made a passive request for a passive use so that the neighbors up in that neighborhood would have a passive use as opposed to an active use.
It's a strip mining operation.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
When we're done with that site, it's going to be far different than what it is now.
I don't think it's trusted.
That's
You're saying you don't trust us.
I didn't say I didn't trust you. I didn't say that.
You inferred it.
I didn't infer it either.
Yes, to me. That's what I heard.
I trust certain individuals. I don't trust certain individuals. I take Ronald Reagan's words, trust but verify, very, very seriously. One of the things that I will fight to the death on is that 26 communities are not going to pay for the sins of one community. One community polluted South Street. That community is going to help take care of that problem. Plimpton shouldn't have to pay for it. Hanover shouldn't have to pay for it. Hanover shouldn't have to pay for it.
Why don't you ask them? Why don't you find a bridge so everybody can see this, why don't you do something constructive and positive instead of arguing all the time?
We don't argue all the time.
Yes, you are. You're arguing with me. I can just see you at a meeting.
I'm great at a meeting.
Oh, God.
But you're throwing innuendos at me, and it's part of the problem. Plymouth and Plymouth County have a long history, and that history is not always positive. But I can honestly say that this group of commissioners has tried its best to put out the olive branch, even when the other side's got chainsaws.
Oh, God.
How'd you like that analogy,
Yeah,
huh?
well, I hear it. No wonder. I'm not sure I like you.
That's okay.
Oh, listen to them in there.
Next question.
Yeah, next question. I wish somebody would call about the landfill because...
I'm sure there'll be a selectman that calls on the landfill.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, sure.
No, they're very good about not doing that.
Well, then they'll have their best friend do it.
Oh, God. Well, I have a question here
Sure.
on the Pilgrim Nuclear Evacuation Plan. Why aren't you more proactive and
Awesome question. Great question.
I haven't even finished.
I know what you're going to say. Why aren't we proactive in getting it as a region?
Yeah, as a regional evacuation plan.
This is a great question.
Not that I think I'm going anywhere, because to evacuate, to me, is
First of all, the county houses the emergency center in the Obery Street building.
in the Obery?
Obery Street building.
No, we moved.
No, that's your emergency center.
Oh, okay. You still are in
We
the
have
Obery.
Entergy.
Oh, okay.
Entergy's emergency center
Oh, all right.
is in our building.
Okay.
You touched on something that is a real problem for Massachusetts, and that is because we don't have strong county governments, we miss out on a lot of federal grants for regionalization.
No, yes.
One of the first things I did when I was a commissioner was I got a call from the DA, and the DA said, "Dan, we need you to sign a document." I said, "Sign what?" I said, "Well, it's a grant application, but we're a state agency. They won't give it to us if we sign it. It has to be the county commissioners as a county."
Oh.
Of course, we did it, and Plymouth got the $100,000, and Brockton got $100,000, some sort of a gun thing. But it immediately sent to my mind, the entire country is set so that grants and things like that are done on a county basis. Our seawalls are crumbling. Our beaches are receding.
It is
and
a concern.
In the rest of the country, they do renourishments. They do things, and they all do it by county. When the little town of Marshfield goes against Dade County, who's going to get the grant?
Dade County.
Dade County. All right, and these are things the county should be doing. But when the county's consistently trying to find a way to pay next week's bills, all right, that's the problem. Ken DeVaris hit the head of the nail. He said, "Dan, I'm for county government if it could be properly funded." So in other words, Ken said to me, "Dan, I'm not for
That's
for
a
county
perfect statement.
Right? And it's a perfect statement on county government. And it's a problem. It's something we tried to solve with one of the 7 pieces of legislation. We weren't successful in this round. We're going to try again in the next round. Because Plymouth County is not the only county with these issues. All the counties except for Barnstable. Barnstable is actually doing very well, but Barnstable gets a bigger piece of the deeds excise.
Oh, why?
Because they did a charter, which is why I did the Charter Commission, because I wanted to get written into law a bigger piece of the deeds excise so that future county commissioners wouldn't be worrying about where the next paycheck was coming, but could be out there talking to Marshfield, Situate, Hull. Let's do a regional seawall that we can all get the federal government to pay for all of them. The FEMA maps is a great example. Situate and Marshfield had to lead the charge on the FEMA maps. That's wrong. That should have been done by the county.
I agree with you on that.
You can't.
Yeah,
you don't like me.
I do. I think I like you personally, but as a commissioner, I don't know. But, okay, which brings up another subject, and it's a very sore subject. Plymouth taxpayers had to pay your insurance so you could stay in the courthouse. You wouldn't pay your insurance.
Oh, Plymouth taxpayers had to pay what insurance?
Your insurance to stay in the building.
Don't know anything about what you're talking about.
How convenient.
I don't.
Okay, Plymouth taxpayers paid the insurance so the county commissioners could stay in the back of the courthouse.
The county commissioners paid rent to the town of Plymouth. I don't
Yes.
remember what the terms were
Yeah.
because it was established before I was there.
Okay.
But I know this much. When Matt Muratori was chairman, and he'd say, "Hey Dan, you're a little late on your rent."
Yeah.
I'd make sure he got paid. That's the kind of cooperation that
You were
we
way
had
late.
at one time.
You were way late on your rent.
We're way late on a lot of things.
So what are you doing?
What am I doing?
What are the county commissioners doing? What is your worth? What have you done?
I've eliminated $32 million worth of liability, of which probably 14% of that would be Plymouth's. All right, that's the first thing that I've done.
Tell me what
All right?
it was.
It was the liability of the sheriff employees, which are your 14%. Okay, the way the county, if the county goes away tomorrow, okay, we are absolved tomorrow. Okay, boom, gone. What happens is they take all the liabilities of the county and they divide it up into the communities and they make you pay. One of the counties that was in real trouble, I think it was Worcester, paid their last payment 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I remember us discussing it. You know, the counties that voluntarily went away didn't have any debt. Their assets covered their liabilities.
Yeah.
Right? So the county, the town of Plymouth would be doing far worse if we went away than paying the small stipend you pay for county services. And you get county services. You have the registry of deeds in your town. You have a courthouse that we donated land for in your town. So the town of Plymouth does get good services.
Okay, I have a proposal for you because,
I'm not taking proposals today.
yeah, the person that, and I don't know if you'll say yes, and I just thought of it on my soul, okay?
I trust you.
Yeah, okay.
I trust you.
This is on my soul. I would like John Mahoney to come here and have you come as a guest and John host because he can do this justice.
You think?
Yes.
I would love to go one-on-one with John Mahoney. Love to.
I will try and arrange that.
Arrange it. I think a nice 15-minute segment between John and I would be
No, it has to be an hour. I mean, my goodness.
I don't know that there wouldn't be body parts if we went a whole hour.
Well, you're a gentleman, right? By the way, do you have
say-
guiding principles?
Of course.
No, for your board, like Plymouth does. Matt Muratori and the Committee of Precinct Chairs fashioned a guiding principles with how to treat one another.
Well, they obviously didn't get to the planning board and the zoning board.
Well,
Next question.
No,
we do not have guiding principles.
No.
As a matter of fact.
see, I
let
watched
me-
that meeting on the planning board.
The planning
I
board
watched.
wasn't televised. The zoning board
Oh,
was.
were you at the school
No.
at that time?
No, we were in the half room where the wall was up.
No, that's the zoning board. When you went before the planning board.
Was it televised?
Yes, it
Okay.
was televised.
And you didn't think I was treated?
I didn't think you were treated badly. What did you think? I mean, you seem awfully sensitive.
Look at this.
A girly man here.
Here you go. And I
Not
can't
that
respond
there's
because she's the
anything-
host.
Not that there's anything wrong
This
with
is
it.
a Seinfeld episode.
I have dear friends.
So,
No.
guiding principles, none. Contracts that are horrific, yes. Pay scales that need to be adjusted, yes. All things that we're working on little by little to try and get in order. The county pretty much has essentially been mismanaged for decades. And you've got a group that's really trying hard to right the ship.
That's probably why.
We might not be able to do it. It might be an exercise in futility, and Ken may be right. I think that our money woes are going to be more and more difficult until we get additional revenues. We do have a lot of really good plans in place right now that hopefully we will get engaged quickly, and all of them affect Plymouth. So.
But you don't like Plymouth.
I love Plymouth.
You live
Why
in
would you
Hanover.
think I live in Hanover, but doesn't mean I don't love Plymouth? Why would you think I don't love Plymouth?
You don't like the people, the
It's
officials.
not true. I get along with most of them. Some of the officials I don't get along with.
Well, everybody
I
kind of like everybody.
I'm not going to pretend I don't. I'm not a liar. I'm not going to sit here and say to you, I get along great with everybody. That's not me.
No,
I tell
I
it the way it
don't
is. If you don't like it, you don't like it. I work hard at what I do. The commissioners work hard at what they do. We work really, really hard.
And our town officials work real hard at what they do. We think we have a fabulous town manager. She tries her utmost to do the best by the people
like
of
the county.
Plymouth. Well, there's a lot of people that don't like the county.
But she's a professional. But she is a professional.
She does not like the county. Has she said that to you?
She has not said that to me, but she has said that to many people. And I want you to know that I've done nothing but been pleasant to everyone in this town.
Oh my God!
Oh, another call.
We have a call.
I hope it's the administrator.
Hello.
Well, I have to agree to disagree that the town administrator's got some beautiful eyes, so I just think you ought to. But my real question is, they asked you what your credentials were, but you didn't tell us really what do you do, and what did you do for a living, or what did you do for a living? You didn't tell us any of that. You told us all about your political career.
You're right.
Stay on the phone.
That's the ADD in me. I didn't get around to it. So I'm a builder. I'm an architect by schooling.
Of course, you're a developer.
I've done some development. I don't develop now. I had a construction company that built all of Comcast. I did all the signal buildings for Comcast. If you get your signal from Comcast, it came through a building built by my construction company. We hit hard times in 2006. I shifted at that point in time to become a project manager after watching my own town. I was responsible for a high school project, brand new high school project, similar to what you're doing down here. And I was appalled at how much they were paying for the OPM, the project managers. Yeah. So I went in and started an OPM firm, which has been extremely successful. I'm all over the state, representing towns and cities that can't do it themselves. And it's been a wonderful job because I get to marry the politics to what I like to do, which is to build.
Well, that's a great summary. I mean, I just didn't know what you did.
That's what I do. I hope I didn't bore you.
No. I actually watched this whole thing with the county government back and forth with the Plymouth government, and it's pretty astounding. It's almost like you guys were in Washington. Everybody hates each other. Nobody gets anything.
Well, I'm glad you said that because interestingly enough, Greg Hanley's a left-wing Democrat, and I'm a right-wing Republican, and Sandy's a Republican. And we vowed after the election, but before we were sworn in, that we would not bring politics to the table.
Sure.
We would do what we thought was best for the county at every decision. And I can honestly say that after 2 years of being with Greg, that I believe that in his heart he's done what he believes.
I agree with that.
And I think he'd say the same about myself. It's hard to translate that to one of the 27 towns that. We represent 27 towns, not one, and there is a giant competing interest. Your host here had said that she wanted Scott Vecchi to be a Plymouth person, not necessarily Scott, to be on the board. And I actually think it would have been good to have somebody from Plymouth, because I think after about 3 months, the person from Plymouth would probably start gyrating to the positions of the county. more than you think, because when you do the read file on the issues between the county and the town, it's quite astounding at how generous the county has been to the town. And it's also quite astounding at how generous the town has been to the county at times. So there's always been a back and forth. Right now we're in an ebb. The commissioners are always trying to make it a flow, and hopefully we will.
How was that?
Well, he's quite a politician. He's good. I've always looked at the county like it's just another layer of government.
Yes.
And so from an outsider, I mean, I don't see what they do. When they ran the jail, I can understand it because they ran the jail and we had
exactly.
the sheriffs do police work within the town in some cases, directing traffic. Of course, we could have a flagman, but we'll never see that in the state. So,
well,
but anyways, to me, it just looks like another form of government that we're paying into somehow. But he makes it sound good, so I'll give him credit.
He's quite a politician, is right. And
not really.
I think this is a type of guy that would be great to go out with, to have a drink with, over for dinner, out to dinner.
She's inviting me to dinner, folks.
But, you know,
I will say this, that I refer to the county as the bastard child of government. We get kicked from above and we get kicked from below.
I like that.
And I've been saying that now for 10 years. And unfortunately, 49 states have strong county governments. 48 states have strong county governments. But in Massachusetts, we seem to think we're smarter than everybody else. We're not. It costs more money to run the municipalities in Massachusetts than it does anywhere else in the country. We have 351 police chiefs, 351 fire chiefs, 351 veterans agents, 351 this, that, and the other thing. We have 911 centers all over the place. In Texas, they have 8 911 centers for the whole state.
You don't live in Texas, really. Do you want to live in Florida? See, I think of the county government as the old sheriff that pulls you over on the side of the road
right.
on Cannonball Run, okay?
Oh, boy.
So when I think of county government, I think of these back roads guys down there. And, sorry.
I'm from Medford. I'm not from the back roads.
Yeah,
so hey, I appreciate you listening.
Thank you very much for calling. He was great. I wish he was sitting here instead. We have 2 minutes, and this was quite lively. But
your shows aren't always like this?
No.
Just so you prepared for it.
I had to, and yet I am not. I know there are better people than I that could sit across from you, and I think that would be good. If you really want to strengthen county government and do the right thing for all the cities and towns that you oversee, you have to tell people who you are and what you do.
You are 100% correct. I can't even. You're 100% correct. We need to do a better job selling Plymouth County.
Yeah, otherwise, I would abolish you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan, for
Thanks.
coming on. Next week is Thanksgiving, of course, and I wish you all a very blessed Thanksgiving, a wonderful time with your family. December 3rd, Megan Collins Dempster and Betty Costco. Betty will be here, and it's about Bartlett Hall, saving Bartlett Hall. I will be here. This was a great show. I think I did not do what I thought I would do. He's not a bad guy, but let's look at county government more closely, and I think Linda Benezra does a great job.
My thing.
See you in 14.
All right.